Tunisia's electoral board has said an overwhelming number of voters boycotted the Saturday polls. According to the board's president, Farouk Boukaser, only 8.8% of the 9 million strong electorate cast the ballot by close of polling. The turnout becomes the lowest since the revolution, which sparked the Arab Spring in 2011. Opposition parties in the North African nation have been criticizing the elections, accusing President Kais Saied of violating democracy and conducting a power grab. Tunisians are decrying hard economic times, with inflation hitting at 10%, according to analysts. In March this year, Saied dissolved parliament and conducted a referendum in July, with the constitution giving autonomous powers to the president. The preliminary results from Saturday's polls are expected on Monday.
Regarding the recorded level of participation, around 6 p.m., and it is the approximate figure, waiting for the closure of the remainder of the polling station, the number of voters is 803,638, a level of 8.8%. From my point of view, the reason is clear. It is a change in the system of polling and the lack of political funding for electoral campaigns. Because for the first time, and we say taking our responsibility, for the first time there have been clean elections and a clean electoral campaign, free from political funding. That was the reason behind buying votes. Let us be clear and frank. So for the first time, the Tunisian elections were pure.
While Sayida Ouinissi, a political analyst and former member of the parliament, is joining us live via Zoom from Tunis. Thank you for joining us on the program, Mr. Ouinissi. Now, the electoral body gives the voter turnout as just 8.8%. What does this say about the election, and what does it mean for the incoming parliament?
Well, I think the number is very clear. You know, as we say, numbers don't lie. And it's a very strong lack of legitimacy that this parliament is going to face and is already facing. The whole process has been ignored by most of Tunisians, who are today actually preoccupied by the economic situation and the social challenges that they have to face as citizens of this country. And there is a clear disconnection between the path and the process, which is led by the president, who is seems to be quite far away from the preoccupations and the desires of Tunisians. And I think this is the third time in a year, in 2022, for the third time, Tunisians are telling the presidency that they are not interested by institutional reforms, they are not interested by the political dreams, maybe, of the president of the republic, and they are more caring about, as I said, economic and social reform. And it's quite, interesting to see that there is already justifications coming from the actual regime to try to, deal with this very, very strong lack of legitimacy.
Well, Sayida, this has been the lowest voter turnout since 2011. So what options are there for those who boycotted this election?
I mean, as this morning, actually, on social media, Tunisians' social media, there is strong calls for stepping down for the president, who today has been sanctioned by this number, him and his allies, but also, refusal to recognize the legitimacy of members of the parliament or members of the whatever we can call the coming institutions. So I would say that we are definitely in a very, very deep political crisis, maybe the worst moment since the coup staged by the president in 2021.
Well, there have been several protests in Tunisia, as you mentioned there, ever since the suspension and dissolution of parliament last year. Do you see those protests easing off now that there has been a parliamentary election?
I think it's going to be the contrary, as a matter of fact, because once again of this very low turnout to the elections. The election was supposed to be a moment of communion, a moment to bring Tunisians together. As you said, it is the lowest number, and internationally talking, this is the lowest rate of an election in modern history. So it's actually a kind of record. And I think Tunisians are going to invest other ways to protest against the very, very difficult situation we are in today. And it's going to be surely the streets.
Sayida Ouinissi joining us there from Tunis with our update from Tunisia. Thank you.